time. Be early, and we are. We are live. Welcome, everyone, to our daily success call for Monday, the 28th of June, 2021. I see Cecilia's driving through the city. Donna's doing her miracle morning routine. Very exciting. We've got lots of awesome people. Mallory, good to see you. How are you? Oh, I see you. Let's go on gallery view here real quick. Let's see who's on the camera. All right. So there's Trevor and Avril, Jan, Chris. Welcome, Amber. Good to see you. Ismail. Right. There's Kim. Hi, Kim. Good to see you. We talked just earlier. Judith. Gilbert's here. Hey, Gilbert. Sheena. Awesome stuff. Katie. Look at Katie's smile. That just brightens my day. You know what? Now that we see, hey, there's Joe. Good to see Joe. All right. We're going to go back on speaker view here. Here's what we're talking about today. It is the start of a new week. Get excited, everybody. We're going to accomplish some stuff this week. We are, aren't we? Are we going to accomplish some stuff? You guys know my favorite four-letter word, right?
Done.
Done. Right. Very good. Very. You know what my least favorite one is?
Wait.
Oh, yeah. Wait sucks. Done. Oh, I like that. Right. So we're going to get some stuff done this week. And I know many of you are making progress for our friends across the pond, making progress with your studies and with your implementation of your studies. I had some great meetings towards right at the end of last week. And I do have to acknowledge our newest members. I have, as you guys know, hopefully you've all been through, you've been invited to a little welcome session where I have a small group up to 15 people. We had to expand it from 10 to 15 because we got so many new members. And I do these 3 or 4 times a day. And they're packed, right? We got so many new members getting started. But I start my week on Sunday night at 10 p.m. Eastern. And I got to meet a few of our new members, an interesting group of people who are, at this point, for anyone who's been here for a week or two, you're a seasoned veteran, right? Compared to people who just got started a couple days ago. So consider that. And this is kind of in line with what Donna and I were talking about just before we went live, because she's reading Miracle Morning. She did her exercise. She's in pain. Congratulations. That's correct, right? So it's uncomfortable. Fantastic. So we're going to get to a point rather soon, okay, where we've got new routines in place. And we're going to be able to look back at who we were or where we were a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago, and be like, my goodness, I've got whole new habits in place now. I get more done by 8 o'clock in the morning than most people do like in a week. Like, how did that happen? How that happened is we just got little things done incrementally. We built on little successes. We acknowledged them as well, because it's one thing to just go through life always striving, always thinking what you haven't done yet. It's another thing to recognize, hey, I'm a high integrity person. Look at all this action. Look at all these dones, right? So that's important. But we're going to look back and we're going to say, wow, how much more effective, how much more competent I am, and how much faster I can go than when I was showing up brand new. Like, remember Missy and I had a conversation right here in this group. Had to be a week and a half ago, maybe, I don't know, I lose track of time, but about just like some of the, let's say, assumptions that, you know what, Missy, you remember this? I'm starting from less than ground zero. Remember that? Okay. I haven't heard that come out of Missy's mouth in weeks, right? So there's progress, right? So we've hit, not only have we hit the reset button, but we've also put programs in place deliberately, self-determined programs that, you know what, if I want a better result in my life, in my business, in my financial ability, well, you know, who's showing up, right? A better me, right? The ideal version of me, which we can never 100% fulfill, but fine. Okay. So let's take some deliberate action and let's show up as the most powerful version possible of ourselves. But here's the thing, as I've often said, habits beat heroics. So it's the habits that we're putting in place now, which will bear fruit, not only in the short term, because you get to have sore muscles like Donna, okay, when you start doing some exercise. Okay, so that reminds you that you're alive. That's cool. But in the long run, because as we were just talking about before we went live, it's easier to maintain high integrity actions, habits, consistent patterns than it is to start them. Inertia sucks. Inertia, like an object at rest, tends to stay at rest. Right. And I've been that object multiple times in my life. Getting off of zero, right? Huge effort. So it seems, right? And yet we could be putting in way more energy. And let's just use the exercise example as an example, right? So now, you can run further, you can go faster, you can lift more weight than you could have even attempted, a few weeks, a few months ago. Okay, but it doesn't feel as extreme. Why? Because you've been optimized. So that's what I want to talk with you a little bit about today, because I think anyone who's here, and I had this conversation last night with some of our new members briefly. I talked about going fast because we see, certainly here in the e-commerce world, there's many examples of people who have transitioned out of their corporate life, their job. Their Adam. Anyone here know Adam, the head coach? Adam was a police officer, and because that didn't pay the bills to the ample degree, he also cleaned windows part-time. How's that sound? Right? So cop and window cleaner. That he doesn't do that anymore, by the way, right? So what did he do? He put in some practices that now have served him, obviously in the short term and long term. His stats keep going up and up and up, right? And we could see now examples of, here's money, here's tens of thousands of dollars that come in on, hey, this design was a hit. Okay, these other 20 may not have, brought the riches. Okay, but my goodness, you had to go through the 20 to get to this one. Fortunately, we have, with the methods that we're getting here with the low-hanging system, you don't have to throw $100,000 on the table every single time you're attempting another attempt, right? In fact, one of our new members who I met last night was just grateful that she's not getting the ship from India or China and sourcing products overseas and all the questions and complications and expense that comes with that, right? So we can look and we can assess, just like we can in our personal lives. For those of you who are going through learning a new daily routine, we can assess that, hey, you know what? These are things that I have been doing right all along. Let's say that you've been someone who's studying, right? Let's say you've tended to read books. I know Missy's one of those people, right? She quotes Neville and all these other people that most people haven't heard of, right? Jan probably reads a couple things here and there, right? So I read a couple books whenever I feel like it, which is all the time. And so that's something you get credit for. Now, here's the question. Let's just look at that one example, okay? So you being an avid reader, let's say, does that mean that you can do more in less time? Yeah, sure. I've even taken multiple courses on reading comprehension, speed, right? That whole thing. I can get through a 250-page book pretty quick, right? That's a typical size of a book. But there's longer and shorter, and I can actually retain this stuff, right? A lot of people read it and they never put it to use, and poof, it's gone, right? So does that make me special or something? No, it just makes me, number one, interested, right? And because I'm interested, I developed an aptitude for that thing that I'm interested in, right? And then because I put it to use, I don't need the theory anymore. Now I have practical application, and now it's just part of my life. This is how you become a professional. But I want to talk about this whole concept of speed, because I think it goes, a lot of times we look at others who are already higher on the mountain than we are. Adam could be one example. Rachel certainly is an example. Oh, they're millions of dollars down the road. That looks like some tasty stuff right there. I want to get there as fast as possible. And a lot of times we compare our insides to other people's outsides. Wouldn't it be great if I can get there? You know what? Let me cram, let me rush, let me do all this stuff that, because I'm not there yet. I don't know if this goes through anybody's mind. I know it certainly has gone through mine when I've confronted some new opportunity and I look to who are the top people, who's making a spectacle of themselves. That's who I want to learn from. And then immediately I could start looking at all the things I haven't done up to this point. After all, I'm not there. What did Ralph Emerson said? He said, in every act of genius, we see our own rejected thoughts, right? So I rejected those thoughts that they accepted, they made decisions on prior to me showing up here, right? I neglected, I didn't know, I was ignorant, whatever. But now I can accept them and I can start making those same decisions and modeling the people who came before me, right? And then possibly, think about this, doing it even bigger, stronger, and faster. I mean, what's the whole point of leadership? if not to have the next generation be better than you were, right? I mean, any true leader, first of all, they're not looking to take all the credit for it. Okay. Rachel's not going to stand here and tell you, oh, look at me, I've arrived and I'm special or something. No. Right. So she's on the path just like we all are. She's just further down the path in this area, right? With e-commerce, right? I don't know about other areas of her life, right? I'm sure got some things together in your life, perhaps beyond where she is and hers. That's fine. We all have different roles that we play in our lives. But back to the idea of speed. A lot of times we compare our insides to other people's outsides, thinking, oh, they were already there, they've arrived or something. And we create some sort of an imaginary pedestal. I want to give you the antidote for all that right now. Okay. So the first thing to consider, okay, is that there are two emotions that come up for people that are at odds with each other. Okay. Not people at odds with each other, emotions at odds with each other. And you can't harbor them both at the same time. This is some powerful wealth creation stuff right here. So if you want to go fast and make a lot of money, consider this. The two emotions that I'm thinking of right now are gratitude and envy. These are two of the most powerful emotions to either attract things to you: money, people, resources, circumstances. Money, did I mention the money? Right. So gratitude. Envy. This is the most powerful emotion that I know of to repel and repulse money, people, things, resources, circumstances. Bamidele, I'm going to go ahead and mute your microphone. Looks like you got a construction project going on. Okay. So we've got gratitude and we've got envy. Those are, I'm going to mute your mic again. Let's do that. Okay, very good. So consider that. Gratitude. What are we grateful for? Or are we grateful for stuff we lack, or are we grateful for what we have? Grateful for what we have. Right. There's a parable. Here's why this works. Okay, we can get biblical here if you like. There's a parable of the talents. Okay, so anyone who's studied Christian scripture, you may have heard this, right? To him who hath shall be given. To him who hath not shall be taken even that which he hath. Well, that doesn't sound fair. Well, hold on, right? You mean I'm a have not and I'll continue to even lose what I have? Oh, okay, yeah. Or I've got and I'll get more. Yeah. I don't know, it needs to sound fair or whatever. It's just life. It's just how it works. Think about this. We're grateful for what we have, and then we start to attract other things into our life, and we accumulate assets, resources, allies, partnerships, pleasing circumstances. You know, when I am in a grateful state, right? We could say an elevated emotional state, I tend to make better decisions. Has anybody ever noticed that? You tend to make better decisions. You tend to get out of your own way when you're not like a rat looking for cheese, trying to get. Oh, I'm so desperate. I lack, I want. And now, basically I'm in my own way, right? Is that attractive? Not to the right people, not to the right circumstances. Think about that. What if you're like smooth sailing, steady Eddie? You know what? It's cool. I have, right? I have resources. I have my abilities. Somebody asked me once, John, if you could have $1 million or your abilities, which would you have? And I said, without hesitation, my abilities, because I can go make a lot more than $1 million. Okay. Look at all this stuff we have. And you can make a gratitude list. And before you groan about it, oh, we've been told to do that by saying 10 million motivational speakers. Okay, then don't do it. Okay. Or do it. Grab a pen and paper, write down 5 things that you're grateful for. I can give you 5 right now. I can see, hear, smell, taste, touch. Fantastic. Those are 5. My physical senses. Oh, you know what? I'm thinking of a couple more now. Oh, all right, then write those down too. Right? I can think. I got a roof over my head. I've got, got some water. I live in Phoenix, right? This stuff's important. This is desert wine right here. Okay, this is the primo stuff. Right? Got some salt tablets so I don't die of hyponatremia. I was on a Harley ride this weekend. If you check me out on Facebook, you'll see me standing in front of Picacho Peak, halfway between Phoenix and Tucson, giving the thumbs up with my gorgeous black Harley Davidson right there. So yeah, I'm grateful that I ride and that I live in a place where I can hit the road and sweat my ass off in 110 degrees, ride through the desert. It was mild, so I figured I'd hit the road. It wasn't 120, it was only 110. So nice. So there's the gratitude, and notice how we feel grateful, and we have an elevated level of enthusiasm for life when we are entertaining deliberately that emotion. I heard someone say, people used to tell this guy, just be happy. He's like, I can't just be happy. But he thought about it some more, and he's like, but I can be grateful. And that could lead to a higher emotional state, right? So you're having a hard time, gratitude, important emotion. All right, we're gonna turn the tables now. Envy. Who wants to try that on? That rich bastard. Oh, right. They probably got their riches through crooked means. Everything's a scam, right? Who do they think they're special? How ostentatious. They drive that nice car. Whatever, right? Envy, which we may not admit to ourselves. But if you want to make money, take flight, and run in the other direction, there is the magic emotion that will do it. Remember, right? Every act of genius, we recognize our own rejected thoughts. Okay. If you're into like the Emerson thing. So that's what Ralph said. Okay. I call him Ralph, right? Like I know the guy, Ralph Waldo Emerson. So Ralph said that that's my own rejected thoughts that I'm witnessing in that act of genius. Okay. Let's try that on. Does that mean I should sit here and be envious of that? No. Does that mean that I too could do that? Maybe just stop rejecting those thoughts. Maybe learn some stuff. I mean, if we want control in our lives, right, and dominion and freedom to be, do, and have what we want, well, we've got to accept more responsibility then. If you want more control, because control and responsibility go together inseparably. Think about your car. You put your car on autopilot, on cruise control. You've now given up control of that, the speed of that machine. The machine is now responsible. The machine is controlling the machine. You get it? So control and responsibility go together. Now you can override that because you're not the machine. You're ultimately in control of the machine. But anything you put on autopilot, you pretty much lose control of. But in order for us to accept more responsibility, we've got to learn some stuff, right? I mean, if you already knew how to reach your goals, you would have already reached them. Hence, go sign up for the course. Go hang out here on the daily success calls. Go read the books that I recommended. Do the thing. Right. And the more you do that, the less you'll be encumbered with, comparing your insides to other people's outsides and envy and all this other kind of stuff. And you'll just get on with it. You just get on with it. And then the next thing you know, you develop this thing called momentum, right? It's the opposite equation of the inertia that we've had to overcome. The object at rest is no longer at rest. The object in motion tends to stay in motion. That's the flip side of inertia. We can also call that momentum. Now you've got momentum. And here's the thing. The mountains of problems that you're confronting in the beginning of any new endeavor, okay? And this is a lot smaller mountains here than people have in other businesses, I'll tell you. Okay, but these mountains are going to become molehills. Why? Because you're moving past, you're moving through, right? You're becoming more competent. And as I often say, competence and speed go together. So through doing, not through theorizing, not through thinking about it, but through doing, by laying hands on machine, so to speak. Okay. Just like in the gym, right? When I'm in the gym, at first it was hard to lift the weight. Now I could lift like 10 times that amount of weight and I could do it 100 times. That's easy, right? But why? Is because I did the thing and then I got the power. That was another Ralph Emerson quote. Do the thing and you'll have the power, he said. Okay, great. So I did the thing. Does that mean that I was gleefully doing the thing? No, it was overcoming the inertia. It hurt. I don't want to do it. But before I could talk myself out of it, I'm doing the thing. Okay, same thing in business, right? I'm overcoming the barriers, right? I'm ignoring the distractions. That's important too. If you want to go faster, ignore the distractions, overcome the barriers, right? By the way, that's a characteristic of genius. If you look at what are the components of genius, the ability to evaluate the relative importance or non-importance, and thereby discriminate between distractions and barriers. Consider that. So yeah, we're doing the thing and we're going faster and faster and faster. So competence and speed go together. I took my daughter. Have I ever told you the story I'm about to tell you? Oh, I have? All right, then I won't tell it. But no, I took my daughter to go see NHRA drag racing. Oh, this is good stuff. Anyone into nitromethane burning funny cars and top fuel dragsters and all this? 11,000 horsepower. These cars go at like 330 miles an hour. Yeah, I see Mickey. Yes, amazing, right? So they're doing a quarter mile drag strip in like 3.3 seconds or something. Anyway, so I took her to see this drag race, and the first time that these cars go past her, at speed, the chests are rumbling, the whole stadium shaking, the amount of power in such a small space in such little time. Like she just lit up. In fact, you could see on YouTube, if you go on YouTube and you just search for like first top fuel experience or nitromethane virgin, right? Stuff like that. You'll see where people turn their cameras onto like the people that they brought, like the grandchildren, and the kids just explode when they experience this for the first time. Even guys, I saw this one big burly guy, and he had never seen it before, and he was like jumping in the seat. Oh, oh. But anyway, I said to my daughter, I said, we're paying to go see the most competent drivers in the world. They are going to drive this machinery that wants to kill them, and they're going to do it repeatedly. And it's going to be the most amazing spectacle that you could possibly see in the world of motorsports. I said, we are not paying to see grandma drive at reasonable speed. That's not what we're paying to see. Okay. We're paying to see total competence, total speed, total extreme. And she got it. So competence and speed go together. I couldn't drive one of those things. No, that thing would kill me. Right. You got to train for that. Now, they did that the first day, right? No, they trained for it. So just remember the race car example. You want to go fast, you got to be competent. How do you get competent? You practice. What do you practice? The thing that you're learning. So if you want to accept a higher level of responsibility and therefore gain a higher level of control and freedom in your life, then you must learn stuff. The knowledge is the base of all this. Some people say knowledge is power. BS. Applied knowledge is power. We can call that wisdom. Okay, that's power. Wisdom. That comes through experiential knowledge. Am I making a point? I hope so, because this is setting the tone for our week and our career. Now, think about this. There are people who, and mark my words, is Andy here? I don't see Andy. Okay, but mark my words. It's going to be 6 months from now. And somebody's going to be on this call, and they're going to say, John, you said something back in, I think it was June, and they're going to quote something I said, which I didn't even know I was going to say, because I never know what's going to come out of my mouth until I hear it. And it lit me up. And here I am, 100 grand cash in fist, right? Thank you for having said that. I was like, great. Remind me what it was, right? Because again, all this stuff is real time and for use, like for real. All right. So that's what my intent is for you, is that you make this real for yourself, and that you get off of zero, overcome that inertia, accept the responsibility, which was always yours, right? To just do the thing that's going to get you in the direction that you said you wanted to go. Now you don't need to compare yourself to this person or that. Envy's out the window. Gratitude for the things you have, including and especially your own ability to accomplish the known goals that you have set for yourself. There's something to be grateful for right now. And look, if you didn't believe you could, you wouldn't be here. Mark my words on that. If you didn't think you could, you'd already quit. So you're here for a reason. My goodness, you would have never reached in the first place if you didn't think there was a better possibility. I don't think anybody showed up here because you were just bored, right? Same damn Gilligan's Island reruns. How many times can you watch those, right? So let's go join some e-commerce deal. No, that doesn't correlate, right? You're here with a purpose. I acknowledge that purpose. I honor that purpose. Now we're here to fulfill the purpose. Okay. So since you started, we might as well finish. If the anatomy of success itself is completing what you start, well, then let's do that. Done. My favorite 4-letter word. And we're going to get all these incremental dones along the way. And the next thing you know, you're at the top of the mountain. People think you're special. Hey, hooray for you. But all you did was have a little bit of integrity. That's it. Right? Habits beat heroics, my friends. I'm so glad you're here. What the hell are we talking about? Judith, I see you. I'm going to get with your accountability rep. By the way, everybody should be talking with their accountability rep. We got a lot of people on the calendar this week for launch sessions. I'm going to be meeting with you. It's exciting. It's big stuff. It's major stuff. Some of you I'm meeting today on that. So buckle your seatbelt. We're going to have an interesting session. What else? We've got, yes, the accelerated process. Keep going through that, especially for our new people. Make sure you're in good communication with your accountability rep, whether that's text, phone, carrier pigeon, smoke signals, email. I don't care about the method. Okay. I care about the result. All right. So get the result. Be sure you're in communication with them because you want to create that consistency. And then what? Oh, yes. One other thing, completely unrelated to everything we're doing here, but I've had a few people asking about books and book study stuff. And John, you say you run a book study thing with your mastermind group. Yes, I do. And we're going to be opening some stuff up to the public. So if you're interested in that, I can get you some more info on that. Just, free, show up, study books. We're going to do a fun little public bit on that. So, because I know some of you can't get enough of me. Some of you are finding my stuff online and watching 10 million YouTube videos and podcast episodes and stuff. Okay. Do what you like. Do what you like with that. I love you guys. All right. Who wants to talk? The floor is open. You can commence talking if you like, or you can raise hands. We got Missy. Hey, Missy, come on out, my friend. Missy, I cannot hear you.
So
Hey, Missy.
I started that book, Miracle Equations, and he's distilled everything that all the gurus have written down to two. I think that's the right book. I got four going at once, so I may be wrong, but he said it's unwavering faith with extraordinary action or extraordinary work doing. And when I read that, I was almost intimidated. But in the next paragraph, he says, that doesn't mean you have to work yourself into a nervous breakdown or a coma or a broken body. It's just persistence, perseverance, and consistency. And it's a loop. That's what he said. The unwavering faith is fueled by the work you do. The work you do is fueled by the unwavering faith. And I just found it very inspiring. And I just wanted to, that's what started my day today. So I just wanted to bring the conversation.
Okay, great. Do you feel like you've developed or are developing unwavering faith?
I'm developing. I mean, I have it religiously, but in my professional life, I have not had it. So something's happening to me, and it's a little scary. Because
I'll tell you what the something is if you want.
Yeah, please.
As it relates to your professional life. So this is right out of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Yeah.
The 13 principles of every, top, industrial age, the Henry Ford and William Wrigley and those guys, Charles Schwab, right? So what did he say have you read that book, Missy?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So what did he say was the keystone and the arch of the entire philosophy?
I don't remember to this moment.
Autosuggestion.
Oh, yeah.
He also said it's the only known way to induce faith.
I used to do it
through the principle of autosuggestion, right? So what is autosuggestion? It's what we tell ourselves about ourselves all day long, whether we know it or not.
I used to write it and read it to myself.
Okay, great.
And memorize it and say it.
Well, there you go. So if you want to induce faith, I don't know about unwavering. That sounds pretty close to absolute, but right, as it relates to you and your ability to operate your business, it's what you tell yourself. And that's why when I heard you say, I am starting below ground zero. So I'm dragging up the past just for a moment. Okay. But I asked you, please don't affirm that. So that may have been the past. It's just not right now. Okay. So let's just put that in the past. Great. That's autosuggestion, right?
That's the thing that you did to me that has brought the change. If you hadn't said that, I would be elsewhere. I'm pretty sure.
I got it. Yeah. And that's why I listen to you and all of you. I hear lots of stuff. That's why I'm in the seat that I'm in, because I hear everything. Oh my goodness. Mickey. Hey, Mickey. How are you? Thank you, Missy. Thank you for your insights. Mickey, I cannot hear you. I'm going to ask to unmute. Where's
Hello.
Mickey? There she is.
Hi.
Hey.
So, first of all, I wanted to start off by saying that I really love the positivity that you bring to this entire program. I find these daily calls that I can call into. I mostly call in. If you notice an 805 number, that's me.
Okay.
So I'm listening, even though you can't always see me. But I really appreciate everything that you're doing. You're just such a great cheerleader for this whole program, and you bring such light and positivity. So I wanted to start out by saying that.
Thank you. I love your plants, by the way. Is that all real or is that a false background?
They're real. I live in Las Vegas. They started out outside, they came in. So this is all real. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, very nice.
Thank
These
you.
are fake, by the way. They're really there. It's on a false background, but yeah, they're fake. Right.
Much easier to take care of.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
So, what I wanted to say is that when I came into this program, I was a little apprehensive and I started out at the minimal entry level. I honestly, it was a very busy time for me. And I kept getting Rachel's emails and I knew it was something I was interested in. I even showed it to my 15-year-old son because we were looking for a plan for building a college fund for him. And he at first was skeptical. And the more he watched the whole video again with me and he said, yeah, let's do this. So when I got in, this has been a particularly busy time. We just came off of a huge seminar, and I am the creative director of a company for a teacher who's very much like you are. You know, I work for someone who teaches this type of positivity and this, type of mindset, much like a Deepak Chopra and Tony Robbins combination. So I instantly loved you because I'm familiar. I'm in that environment every day, which is very cool. But I didn't expect to find that in this group. So that was a nice surprise. So what I'm concerned with is that I came into this so busy and I keep seeing these things that say, you know, you have 2 weeks of this and that and the other. And I've had a hard time even getting to the stuff that Denver has sent me. He's my accountability person, only because of my workload. So we're coming off of a 5-day seminar for our coaches in training, and I am the host of those events. So I have literally not had a moment, and it's been really hard for me to get through much of anything. But that being said, I'm curious because here I am coming to close to the end of 2 weeks, and I keep hearing, you know, I've got 2 weeks of this, 2 weeks of that. What is going to change that I haven't been able to necessarily get to? And is there anything that you would recommend that now that I do have time starting actually later today and especially after tomorrow, to really dive into this and commit the 2 hours a day that you had said that I really should be putting into it? Because up until now, I couldn't do that. So I guess I'm concerned that I'm about to lose out on something that I really haven't had time for because I jumped into the program not wanting to miss the opportunity, even though at this start, I really didn't have the time.
Right. Okay. Well, let's hit the reset button. Okay. Because you're coming out of, you've said a couple of times, you're coming out of these conditions, which were very taxing on your time.
Right.
Okay. Well, now that you're coming out of them, great. Let's hit the reset button. Let's do 2 weeks. Right. And as far as 2 hours a day, that's like optimal, like a full-time effort. That's hardcore. Right. So you've got life, you've got your son, yeah, I mean, life. Right. So Miracle Morning, right? I think how you start your day is how your day goes. And have you been through that book yet, Mickey?
Miracle Morning? No, yeah. I actually started reading Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. That was the first book on your list, but I do have a morning practice that the teacher that I work for teaches us to set up. So I actually have a morning ritual already, but I can definitely, add something to it. Is that the book that you're recommending teaches something like that?
I recommend everyone read a couple of books contemporaneously. One of them should be Miracle Morning because it's so easy to implement. It's not like hardcore philosophy or anything, but it's very workable. And at most, you would add 7 minutes. Teresa, we got a little background noise on Teresa. Go ahead and mute that for you. So let's say that you don't have a morning routine at all, and you wake up at 10 o'clock in the morning, and you've never exercised in 100 years, and whatever, right? So the Miracle Morning would be a way for you to get up 7 minutes earlier and do 1 minute of quiet time, 1 minute of study, 1 minute of exercise, right? So there's 7 points in there. So at first, it would be a 7-minute routine to do all these different things. What exercise can you do in 1 minute? You could do burpees. Let's say you did 20 burpees in 1 minute. Right. So that's pretty grueling. But anybody do burpees here? Right. That's pretty, especially like high knee burpees. Wow. Mickey is going to demo that for us right now. No,
I start out with 100 jumps that get your energy going. It takes
Right.
about a minute. So something similar.
Right. But then you expand that, right? I'm going to do a 15-minute meditation. I'm going to do my hour in the gym, or whatever it happens to be. But the point is that man who shoots at nothing is sure to hit it. So let's set some targets, right? And we get this stuff done early. Like I talked about when we first met, Mickey, and everyone, when you went through that little welcome video I made for you, which was like 20 minutes long, I gave you part of my daily method of operation. Here's the quiet time, call it meditation, call it whatever you want. I don't care. See yourself already in possession of the goals. Study, right? Pick up some books, right? Here's some books. In fact, I recommended 5 of them to you to start with. Exercise, which has nothing to do with e-commerce and has everything to do with e-commerce, because it's you who's engaging the business, which you is showing up, right? And energetic, endorphin loaded, dopamine and movement, right? Yes, that's the you we want. And then number 4 was do the thing you want to do least. Do some sort of income producing activity. Don't think about it before you could talk yourself out of it. Get it done. And now you don't have to think about it anymore, right? And now you're a high integrity person. Look, I just did 4 things and my day's just getting started. It's only 7:30 in the morning. Fantastic, right? So especially in Vegas, right? So I walk with my wife. We get up at 5 a.m. We're on standard time because we don't do daylight time here in Arizona. So we're on the same clock as you, right? So the sun kind of hits the horizon at like 5:30 a.m. So at 5:15, we're out there. It's only like 88 degrees, not 115. Nice, right? So we're out there. The sun's just coming up. We got the dogs. In fact, I got one of the dogs here right now. Hold on a second. You guys got to meet Butch. We usually do dog shows on Fridays, but this is Butch, and he is a sweetie. Yep, there you go. Yep, that's Butch. So he likes his walks. He's got a little bag around his hind area because he had to have a leg removed. Sadly, he had some sort of back injury, hasn't been using his back legs. Anyway, long story, but he's got plenty of energy. Just that leg wasn't working, so I had to go. Anyway, do that. And look, Mickey, you are so bright and able, and yeah, you get my vote. That's fine. So we're just going to put in some order now. And sure, we have a little bit of a roller coaster sometimes. I got, my goodness, I've got people banging my doors down for like all different contracts and consulting deals. I've got to decide what I'm going to say no to and what I'm going to say yes to, because everything's got an opportunity cost, right? So just know that you're in the right place, and let's hit that reset button. Mickey just got started, everyone. 2 weeks starts now. Go.
Woohoo. Okay.
Yay.
Awesome. Thank you. I feel better.
Right.
I appreciate that. Phew, I was a little worried that I'd missed out on something.
Right. Well, I guess also there's, you can also induce your own scarcity. You could say, you know what, I've got deadlines, because work expands to fill the time allowed for it. So if it's not 2 weeks, well, then what is it? 2 years, 2 millennia? I don't know. Right. All right. 2 weeks then. 2 weeks. Right. So set your own standards with that. Set some targets. Okay.
Maybe I was misunderstanding that there were certain things that I would only have access to for 2 weeks and then they went away, or there's been some confusion kind of with the program. So
Okay.
maybe that
Yeah,
was
I
a
think some of
misunderstanding that I had.
Yeah, some of that needs to be adjusted, because I know when they asked me to come in and take over this whole post, I said, you know what, people can come and hang out with me forever, because I know there's going to be a point where you've graduated, right? So let's say you've been through all the course material, the accelerator, right? Let's say you want to like participate in the advanced group and everything. Okay, fine. Does that mean you keep showing up on these calls? Maybe I've got like my mastermind group, which has nothing to do with our group here. Okay. But we have like 3 sessions a day. People have been coming I got one member who's been listening to my stuff for 20 years. So I don't know about 2 weeks, but 20 years.
Wow.
Okay, great.
Amazing.
So I'll keep showing up. You can too, if you want. Yeah. I'm not going to keep.
Yeah, I love these. So I think I'm going to keep showing up with you. Even if I call in from 8:05, at least you'll know it's me.
Okay, great. I'll remember that. Out of all the 805s, that's the one.
That's me.
Right. Well, glad you're here, my friend.
Thank you so
All right.
much.
I'd love to meet your son at some point too. If he's going to participate in the business, maybe he should be on these calls as well.
Brilliant. Okay, I'll ask him. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, just click the button. That's it. Hey, anybody else? Any other thoughts, questions, comments? Anybody else? Anybody else? And we are done. All right, my friends. We're going to get back together here tomorrow. Same bat time, same channel. I will see you all again then. In the meantime, get with your accountability rep, right? Go through an accelerator module. It's like 5 minutes. And then, of course, you give your feedback. We want to hear from you. We read all this stuff in case you're wondering. And then go through a lesson or two today and read something, right? Do it. All right. I'll see